So, here we are with another episode of Fiends of Fairwick, where we last left off on the previous one. Shit got kind of interesting, I do what one could say so. If y'all are all caught up for this, um, there was a few interesting meeting at the agency, and following that, as our little Scooby-Doo gang uh, reconvene in Percy's home uh, to talk about how to handle things moving forward. Uh, Temper got elevated, I guess would be the right word. The situation got a bit more fiery in a way, and as I do believe Percy and Tiffany, you went down in the basement to talk about personal matters, leaving Kate, Lakeisha, and Bea in the living room. Through the series of emotions, um, the one, I guess one could call it like magical darkness that is lurking within Cade, either from current patron or remains on the previous one, because things don't change, right? You still have some ability, they're just different. Possibly a mixture of that emotions and a fail cool roll. Thing escalated a little bit. The room got much, much darker. And a burning heat just crept on Lakeisha's back. As she turned around to that dark room, seeing the shadowy silhouette of a snake. And that's where we are. Now, would I be a dick and just pick up a different location entirely with other people? That would be so funny.
I don't know. Cute emo girl was having a day as well, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we can find out what's going on with her.
Like, everybody was having a day. Like, I don't know, Mercury was probably in retrograde. I'm not sure. Some bullshit like that.
Oh, Mercury in retrograde is never bullshit. It's for real.
Let's
Let
see.
me tell you.
Where do we want to pick up with this? And do we want to just right and jump into fire? Why not? Right. Why the fuck not? Right? So this is our situation here.
What does it look like to be who is not in either of these people's heads?
So, for Bea, who is currently a third party, that is a very good question here. Your perspective is a bit shifted. It's a bit different from either or. It almost, for you, like, you can feel like the room is a bit colder. Not like dramatically, just a little bit. Like, you could probably have a sweater on now. And the lights seems to flicker a little bit. Is this just, it's middle of the winter, right? So it could be electricity, it could be just old house shitty wiring, or it could be something a bit more. Why don't you read me a bad situation?
Cool. I'm very glad that you told me to roll that and not anything to do with weird, because she's literally the worst for that.
I mean, I can give you either option if you can justify.
I'll take sharp, please. Thank you.
Because it is very much what you would probably notice out of it would probably not be weird. Well, it would be weird, but you know what I mean.
Sure. Oh, that's a 6.
All right.
Oh no, nope. Darn it. I was about to be like, oh well, it's a good thing it was sharp and not weird because that would have been a -1. But no, it does not matter. That's a fail anyways.
Yep.
B's got no fucking clue as usual.
Yeah. Pierre, you're just like, I'm a bit chilly. I could use a sweater now.
So I've got a couple questions here that'll dictate what Lakeisha does or says next.
Yep.
First off, with the support of the agency's resources, right? What does Lakeisha know about how demons interact with humans? Like, is there any precedence before Cade where like a human successfully merged with a demon? Is it
No.
like,
in this case, it's not. I would not call it a merge, right? It is a totally different aspect here. Let me just give it a little roll to chance here. For what? So, historically, it is abstractly documented, like in all culture, religion, and all that there is sometime position and like connection between otherworldly being and mortals. A lot of it is, how could one put it nicely? It almost reads like fairy tale, right? Like we like all those like witch hunt and like, oh, she's a consort of the devil and so on. So a lot of the stories are similar to that. There is possibly some very obscure documented case here and there. As for like how deep your like knowledge would be of that, I would not say like I would not say it's like very deep or like almost not there at all. This is probably a very odd case because actual like sort of connection between otherworldly being and mortals, it is very much not a common thing by any means.
okay, so more like demon possession,
Like
just like
everybody heard of that.
IRL,
Like, oh yeah, like there's
yeah,
a tale
Okay.
somewhere about this. Like how true it is.
got it. Like
Yeah,
not
like-
really symbiotic. It's more like demon overtakes human, controls them.
Yeah,
that
I
sort
mean,
of-
there's also
Usually.
like tales like throughout
Right.
history, right? Like if you like, and anybody that is a bit into like occult and like want to read about all those spooky stories from across the world, like from all culture, regardless of like there was probably a story somewhere out there that somebody heard at some point.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
whether or not a person reasonably believe it or not, that's a different thing. Or no, but a lot of it is just like posh and like, all right, it's just a made up story, like to scare children.
That makes it crystal for me. Thank you for that. Last question.
Yep.
Lakeisha sent a message to Mimi through her pager. Did any other message ever come back to her while throughout all the events of last session? Specifically, she sent her a page that was encrypted with language that's like kind of gotta cool off for a while, going covert for a while, but no
the
response.
only message that you got back was essentially just quick acknowledgement without further details or information.
But there was an acknowledgement.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot communicate too much through such device. Anybody that have used any of that is sometimes just like, here's a serial number that I hope that you know what it means.
Right. I feel like they would have established a bit of a code beforehand.
But
numbers only, probably, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great. All right. Well, in light of the current situation, first thing Lakeisha does is react to the pain of her wounds.
Keisha, what's going on? What's going on? What the?
think I I think I got somebody's attention. And you would see her definitely take a knee, and I don't know if visually the flame there are flames at her back at the moment, but probably her flak vest is probably smoking or smoldering, something like this. So more than likely she's trying to take it off and then probably screaming more because some of her skin is probably coming off with it, probably fused with if the heat is that hot.
I do believe it's. Let me see. Like the back. Oh, like it may.
Because those nylon burns, buddy.
Yeah, good.
You
Good
said
old.
3 harm is gonna take you to almost
Yep.
unstable. That's no
Yep.
good.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Yep.
a lot of pain.
Yep.
Um.
So, yeah, I,
Cade,
Cade,
Cade.
how angry does Cade still feel
Cade's
in this
busy
moment?
eating popcorn right now. She'll get to you in a second.
Yeah, it's all right. Like Daddy's gonna take care of
Demon's
that.
like up there.
It'd be like
Cade's just
that.
like, I mean, yeah, Cade's still pretty. I think just upset and disappointed. What exactly was happening? Was she like floating? Like what was she physically doing right now?
I want to say like you were floating. You were probably like during the conversation, like sitting,
Okay.
and just got that fiery focus in your eyes.
It's
Because
giving
like
back.
a lot of things that you can do, you don't like unless somebody knows or really pay attention. Like it does not. It unless you. I don't. From what I understand, like Kate does not like have big dramatic display for a lot of things that she does, right? So
Yeah, she's still pretty disappointed.
yeah.
Just maybe I'm wondering if she's realized yet what has happened. Would she, or is she kind of like not present?
I would say for this, because Bia is calling your name too.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me another cool test. Roll 3 instead of 2 dice. Roll 3 dice. Remove the lowest.
Hold on.
I don't think that is a mechanic in the game, but I don't give a fuck.
We make our own rules, right? That's cool.
People can come at me in the comments, and I don't give a fuck.
All right. So I rolled a 4, and a 1.
Okay, and what is your cool?
0.
All right, which it's 8, right? 4, 4, and 4. It's pretty good. The darkness that more or less like overtook your sight and like got the world very focused on one specific thing. Fades away for a little bit, and you come to a bit of a realization that maybe your anger got away a bit without you being fully aware of it. But yeah, you are in control of yourself. Now, however you choose to act upon this, it is entirely up to you.
So I think I've been realizing, because hearing Lakeisha and then Bia, I think she sort of like realizes what she's done, and I think starts crying, honestly. um, just like doesn't know what to say because they're just so shocked that they've lost control. They haven't really, I don't think they've done that yet. So just kind of like with tears streaming down their face, is just sort of staring at both of them, just unable to get like words out, just she just doesn't know what to say.
Bia looks between the two and is trying to figure out, oh God, how to deal with both. So she's just gonna scream down the stairs, Percy! Med! Now!
What
Yeah.
have we been doing
So
till this point?
the two of you
Yeah, what are you up to?
that
And
were downstairs.
Really quick, the other thing,
Yep.
after yelling that, she's going to go to Cade on the couch and just go, Cade, hun, do you want a hug? Is it okay if I hug you? And she's wrapping her up, big old bear hug. Mama bear hug.
All right, wonderful. I like that. So, while this was happening, we can play a bit loose and fast and loose with time, right?
Sure.
Anything that you wish to briefly attend to before hearing the summon from above.
Percy was going down to check on Tiff because Tiff left into the basement in a very large
Yeah.
hurry.
Yeah.
So he's probably just gonna go knock on the door to the basement and just wait.
I don't know that there is a door. I think it just goes right down into the basement. Like she's just in the lower library pulling books.
It's a safe room, so it has to have
Yeah.
a door. But if she didn't close it, he'll
She
just follow
probably
after.
didn't close the
Yeah.
door.
Okay.
She's angry and she walked in there and she just started. She's in the lower library pulling books for school.
Okay. He'll follow after and kind of close the door a little bit. But he doesn't lock it or anything, just to give them a little bit of privacy. He goes, right. So the thing about being a father is I'm supposed to come talk to you about this now, I think.
She's just like grabbing books and like slamming them on the table. She's like, "You don't have to. I'm pissed because just more lies."
I'm pissed too. Really pissed, actually. Very angry, mostly at myself because should have seen that shit coming. Look, okay, I'm not good at this. Maybe I can just. What books are you looking for? He'll just start trying to help you find books instead of giving any sort of advice whatsoever.
Folklore stuff. She's already got the Keys of Solomon is on the table. Stuff about like angels, devils, demons, that kind of stuff, especially like European and folklore and from that region.
Okay.
I gotta finish a paper. I just need to flesh out a bibliography.
No, because the timeline of things is fairly quick, right?
Yeah.
As you are essentially talking about, oh, I would like this, and this would be like great. This is when you would hear things above.
I think before Bia even finishes calling, Percy has sprinted out of the room. His gun is already like halfway out of his holster. More before he even realizes, it's just like a natural instinct at this point. If anybody from this fucking group shouts about something, just starts running because it goes badly if you don't move quickly. So he just kind of runs up. I guess sees this whole situation and just freezes. Because he saw the fire. There is like visible fire, correct? Or
there's not currently visible fire per se. There's remain of smoldering and a distinctive stank of polyester and flesh.
Okay. He's gonna briefly wonder how Tiff could do that from in the basement. Before rushing over to help, like he's gonna like grab one of the blankets off of the couch as he runs over and start like patting Lakeisha out, just making sure that's set.
And hearing Med and watching Percy. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
Watching Percy run out with a gun and hearing Bia having said Percy meds, I would grab like whatever like emergency med kit is down there. Like I know there's a bunch of other stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm sure we have a go bag for like when we are actually planning on going out. I will grab that and bring it upstairs with me.
I'll help Pat Lakeisha out. I'm maybe like a little rough about it. Not exactly happy. So it's just like, stay still for a second. God, what happened? I'll just look up at Bia.
Caught the attention of a protective demon is what happened, I think.
Right.
We couldn't. Yeah.
Keish, come on, hold on. Wait.
I drop the bag at Percy's feet and I go over and like I kneel down in front of Kate and I just look at them. Are you okay? Okay. What do you need me to do?
I didn't mean to.
I don't think you did.
No.
Well, maybe. I don't know, but
if she hasn't, if Kate hasn't pushed Bia away, Bia's still holding on.
Yeah. And Tiff's just gonna like sit down at Cade's feet and just sit there and just be a body to be close by.
Percy's gonna make eye contact with Bia and like give her like a "you got this," and move Lakeisha down into the basement, out of the line of sight of Kate. Just get her out of there, down to the infirmary in the bottom. And as he goes, he's just gonna whisper very quietly to Lakeisha, "Karma acts quickly. Sorry that happened," and just keep moving her down.
All right. So now we are once again with here with a junction of two different scenes. I'll leave it entirely up to you to whichever order you wish to play out the following event.
Share up to you, but I'm more than willing to go afterwards because I feel like they're probably
Yeah.
at words with each other. So
Yeah,
So yeah, let's go with that.
Tiffany's just gonna sit there with Cade and like offer her hands in case Cade like just wants to hold hands with somebody for a minute. And she'll just stick her hands up.
They'll like kind of just put like not holding, just kind of like put their hand like on top of her hand and just kind of like is just staring into space.
Hey, Cade, look at me. It's okay. Don't think you did anything wrong. Just breathe. Do you want water? Okay. Do you want us to just stay here for a minute?
I don't want to hurt you.
You're not going to hurt me.
I don't think either of us got any plans to piss you off like that. That wasn't you, hon. It really wasn't.
Hey. You have a deal that he protects you. It's not you. What she did was out of line. He's trying to protect you. I'm sure talks will need to happen, but
maybe I should go. Maybe I am.
No.
Nope. Mm-mm. And if you're going anywhere, I'm going with you.
We all need to sit down, have a actual constructive talk.
Maybe not right now, though.
No, but if it's not happening right now, then the next thing that needs to happen is we need to talk about the group of werewolves that evidently have moved into town.
Yeah, we can talk about that later too. Let's just
maybe
we just need to relax for a minute.
Either way, you're staying here. Yeah? I ain't leaving you alone with whatever thoughts are running through that brain of yours.
If you don't feel safe here, I'll take you home and I'll stay with you.
Do you feel safe?
Of course I do.
Do you really?
Yes.
Why would anyone?
Because I trust you.
You think after that They'll just kind of like fall silent. And I'm going to go back to just staring at nothing.
Tiffany will just sit with her. It's like sit on the floor in front of her and just be there.
Awesome. Let's dive into the basement now.
I will start with getting Lakeisha to the bottom, and it's very yeah, he's upset with her, but she's very hurt, and he's not going to take that lightly. So he is as gentle as possible, but he does have to peel something off of her skin. So he sits her down, he gets a rag, he hands it to her, and he reaches underneath one of the tables and just pulls out a half-drinking bottle of whiskey and holds it out to her. He goes, chug. Okay. We're doing this on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2. Rips it. Breathe. That felt bad. This is going to feel worse, and he's going to start disinfecting it. Going to... It's okay. Breathe. Stay with me. Come on. It's going to be okay. Just take a second. And he'll start much more gently cleaning it now that he's finished with that. He'll start. He'll like take some scissors and clip a little bit around her shirt to get to the opening, and just sit there doing that quietly for a little bit until he can get her as bandaged up as possible.
I know it wasn't them. I know it wasn't them.
No,
I know it wasn't them.
It wasn't them. But that doesn't mean that this didn't fucking hurt like a bitch. So I really am genuinely sorry.
Fucked up thing. The real fucked up thing. I didn't set out all that surveillance for the agency. They only wanted me to keep tabs. Kate and Tiff. Because of powers.
I'm going to give you an option right now, and I need you to consider it seriously. I am taking care of a very bad burn on your back, and I am not happy with you. Is this when you want to talk about this?
You gotta know.
I'm not upset at you. I'm not upset at you for looking at them, for keeping an eye out. Fuck, I've been doing the same goddamn thing. I'm upset that you didn't trust me with it after everything we have been through and after I gave you a second chance.
She's your Achilles heel, you know. She's your Achilles heel. And I didn't know whether or not you'd be able to see past that.
You know what, Keish? That's your damn problem. You look at trust and you see a weakness.
How could I? And I trusted so many in the past. How can I see things any other way? The way that I look at trust is what has kept me alive thus far. You know that. Specifically, you know that.
Right now, if I didn't trust everybody else up there, I'd be leaving you for dead. You would be stuck with no one to help you with this goddamn burn. But I am here and I am helping you because I trust them to do what's right with Cade right now. only thing trust does is leave your back open for an attack, and fuck, you got a scar to show it. You have to trust somebody, okay? And I'm not having this conversation with you while you're in this state. I'm not having it after everything that just happened, and I'm sure it's not going to hype up our emotions and cause that demon downstairs to sniff something out. So just take a breath. We're going to get you cleaned up, and I will take care of you. But there's going to be a longer conversation after that. All right?
It's been a long time since you've taken care of me.
Yeah.
Nice to know that you still know how.
Just drink the damn whiskey. And I'll start applying a bandage.
Awesome. That works. I don't remember if there is a healer mechanic or not in this
There
game.
is a mechanic specifically for the room. You
Yeah.
can heal people and have the space for 1 or 2 people to recuperate. The
Yeah.
keeper will tell you how long the recovery is likely to take and if you need extra supplies or help.
I don't think that based on Percy's general readiness,
Mhm.
you will probably have things to at least treat some burns.
Yeah, yeah.
To this extent, I'm not 100% sure like how well equipped you would be, because that is very much like hospital shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a chance that you will have to probably go out there and get some more stuff.
Got it.
You are, a step above first aid kit here, right?
Yeah.
As for the recovery time, I'm by no means a medical expert here. But what one could assume that it's gonna take some time. Like, I could go and do some actual research on this, but knowing myself, and if I do that right now, I'm gonna even do a weird rabbit hole
Yeah.
of medical procedure, and we're gonna spend the night like talking about that shit.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that anybody wants. That may be a separate like medical podcast here.
Just as an idea, maybe we like call the agency because they probably have ways to treat it a lot faster. Because
Yeah.
I can tell you
Yep.
right now, from experience, that's months and months and months of
Yep.
healing.
Yeah, burns are...
Plus, on top of that, there's no way that this lovely new Scar is going to escape.
Oh yeah, no, nothing will go
Like,
low
she
about
gets
that.
physicals just because of her arm, like every other day. So there's no way that they're
Yeah,
not going to notice that.
There's
So
no way
might
that
as
any of
well.
this will go low key, and it would be highly responsible on Lakeisha's part to even remotely try to hide it from any medical expert.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because a burn itself is one thing. Having blend fabric stuck to your skin and like essentially being like the worst band-aid out there.
Oh yeah, Infection City. You know what I mean?
Yeah. City.
So.
Yeah,
So
Percy is capable of cleaning it up. That's the best he can do.
Yep,
right now.
you can give here a quick first scare and possibly help prevent shock.
Yeah.
Which I think, based on the level of pain, I'm not sure if there's going to almost shot mechanic. I'm sure there is a stat for something like that. I would be.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, roll me a tough, or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I understand pain.
So that's a 6. Oh.
Plus, you're tough.
I only have a +1 for tough.
Oh no.
So.
So.
But the dice are telling the exact story.
Yep.
That needs.
No, I mean that would be
He's
fitting
so
based on the
vulnerable
degree
right
of
now.
pain. I'm hoping that, and I'm assuming that some of your current compatriots do have contact number to reach your
If-
employer in case of emergency.
Looking at the wound, if Percy
Yep.
kind of says, you know what, this is beyond my capability to, do anything major about it, then she would send whatever SOS, 911 type of pager, and so.
If he sees like as she starts to contact, he's gonna put his hand on hers and say, "You can't tell them it was Cade." Okay.
No.
Yeah. And
Besides, they'll believe that I was messing with some type of ordinance anyway. Usually I am.
so with that in mind, you experience a very intense burn. Your body feels very cold right now. Also, we should probably put a content warning at some point for this.
Yeah.
Content
I
warning.
actually have one in the description of all of our stuff that we talk
Yeah.
about pretty serious shit and for people to protect themselves.
Yep. No. And that tracks. And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be one for every fucking episode.
I have it literally in our YouTube description for every episode.
Excellent.
Because low key monster of the week. I know it's a system that allows itself for like terrible shit and horror shit. So we try to
got
be
you.
careful here. But
I got you covered.
thank you. Yeah, going back to this. You felt immense heat and pain. Right now, you feel colder than you ever felt before. Your entire body is currently in shock. You will probably pass out momentarily from it, which may be a good thing because it will temporarily remove the pain because you won't have to be conscious for it. But the SOS has been sent. Somebody should come pick you up soon for what may be the strangest extraction they ever had to do. Now, it sounds so fucking ominous if I put it that way. Any last things you would like to say before the light temporarily leave your eyes as you fall into out of consciousness into that shock state?
As the chills start to take over her entire body, and she knows she's passed out before. I mean, normally she has a high enough pain tolerance, but this is the culmination of emotional vulnerability stacked on top of immense, searing, immediate pain.
Mm-hmm.
So when she feels like just before she passes out, she'll probably grab Percy by the shirt and pull him close enough so that he'll hear. And she'll say, just don't let either one of them, don't let any of them be your blind spot. And tell Cade that I'm still not afraid of them. They'll know what it means.
All right. And now, for sake of brevity, right? The rest of you, as before the agency, send a little, team to extract Agent Owl. Anything you wish to just quickly do? Because we're gonna do here after that, like probably a little bit of a, time jump. Because I don't feel like role playing like months of recovery. Sorry.
The minute I find out that the agency is coming, as a precaution, I'm going to be like, I have to get Kate out of here.
Yeah, Percy definitely would have come up to warn everybody and let them know. And if Tiff is gonna do so, go with Cade, Percy's just gonna step over to Cade real quick and put a hand on their shoulder, and just say, "Hey, you're in good hands, okay?"
Do you want to go back to your apartment or my house? I'll stay with you regardless.
At my apartment.
Okay, come on. And I will load Kate in my car. We'll leave the van there. And actually, no, I'll ask Kate for her keys. And I will leave my keys with Percy in case of an emergency. And I'll drive the van back to Kate's apartment.
That makes sense. All right. Percy and Bia, what are you two doing?
Percy's gonna immediately turn to Bia and say, "I trust Kate. That is as much as I will say. I would really like to check up on them sometime tonight, make sure everything's okay."
Yeah, as what I thought was a lot.
It was. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna make some coffee.
Secrets are what got us in this situation. Are you okay if I share a few?
Go for it.
One, only reason I'm okay with Tiff going with Cade, knowing that the demon is capable of doing that. I talked to it.
She's like, she grabbed the can of coffee and just like is holding it in midair.
I should have told you. There's a lot of stuff I should have told you. I will say sorry, but sorry doesn't change past actions. So I talked to it. It assured me it was benevolent and that its only goal was to protect Cade. I don't have any worries about Tiff somehow making Cade feel unsafe, but I think tonight was a very good example of why it is still very dangerous.
Yes. Why did you do that?
I don't think you'd like the answer to that question.
No, probably not.
There's alcohol involved.
Yeah, somehow I had a guess.
Yeah, there was also alcohol involved with the second secret I need to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I don't need to spell it out, but me and Lakeisha got a history. And I feel it's only fair for you to know, and I should have told you sooner, and I am sorry. That word really just sounds hollow. Should have told you.
I ain't upset that you had the history or nothing. Your past ain't none of my business. I wish you'd spelled it out a little sooner.
Yeah, that's fair.
That explains some of the weird shit Lakeisha was saying to me. But
actually, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what that
probably
means.
not.
No.
She asked when we were planning on getting married. I told her 6 months after my husband died was a little too soon to be thinking about that.
Yeah, marriage is.
Yeah.
Wow, we ain't got that
You just stop talking now before you start digging.
you get me. Okay. All right.
And got the coffee maker going and just turns around and just yeah. Keisha's the reason I remember. The morning after Doug and Joan, I woke up in the hospital and she was standing there at the foot of the bed and asked me, what happened. And I knew that she was involved in some weird shit. So I told her. I told everyone else I didn't remember, but I told her because I thought she'd help. And then she said, I'm real sorry about this, Bia, and pulled something out of her jacket pocket. And I have never begged in my life, but I begged, let me remember, let me mourn, let me fight. And she did. She went back to the agency and she fought and she let me keep that memory. Otherwise, I'd be walking around like the rest of the damn town thinking they died to the bear or coyotes or something like that. That agency's full of ruthless, cold-hearted sons of bitches. If any one of them is tracking us. I didn't know that the trackers and none of that, but if any of those bastards is keeping an eye on us, at least it's that one.
That is a lot kinder words than I would have for her. But I am thankful to have somebody by my side who's willing to be that forgiving about it.
Life's too short to hold big grudges. And
that's what I said, and then she put a tracker in my car again. Anyways.
So, as you are having this conversation, another marked van pull up in your driveway. Based on the general low-key but professional presentation of the driver in their own way, you would assume that they're most likely the much needed extraction. Just because I want to see that. What bullshit explanation are you gonna give, Percy? Because the person that could give currently an explanation on the situation is currently unavailable.
Yeah, when they pull up, and this is not his first interaction with them for sure.
Nope.
So he's gonna give them a very and like Bia sees him pull his usual bullshit of like they walk up and suddenly he's walking a little tipsy and he's not like talking super straight. And as they approach it and start trying to talk to him, he's just like, I don't. We were testing something. She was talking about mixing these chemicals, and I was like, yeah, sure, fucking why not? And mixed them, and I started to light up a cigarette, and suddenly, who knows, no, actually, it was horrifying. There was a smell of burning flesh everywhere.
Could you manipulate someone for me?
Yeah. I'll try.
I know it sounds ominous when I put it that way, but it's a mechanic.
Time to find out if these new dice are going to be the ones that finally mark me for experience. What's my charm? I have a +1 charm. That's crazy. 7.
7. It's mixed success, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 to 9 is mixed.
Give a winning smile.
They give a nod. Whether or not they're like fully believe like your bullshit, they're gonna have more question for some people later on. They're gonna have work to do here, but they know it's not necessarily like when they send somebody that is medically inclined to check up on the situation. Like they don't like waste too much time to
Yeah.
pull your companion away. Thankfully, you don't have too much nosy neighbor, so it goes pretty much as smooth as it could be.
Right.
Like they don't have to like, oh, let's pull out like somebody out of here with a body in a body bag, just that we don't show everything. Thankfully, no, like they can still extract
Okay.
without any issue. So with that whole thing kind of dealt with, at least partially, right? Between the date that we are today, not like as a time of this recording, but like fiction, fictional world, and December 23rd, what have you been up to as a whole? And like what sort of communication may have been going on while some people are being in recovery? Thankfully, it's not gonna take months and months of recovery. It's still gonna suck for a while. It's still gonna like probably like take like a good solid month for like to recover. Cause
Sure. I think though that no matter how much better Lakeisha may start feeling, she's gonna probably keep a respectful distance. Probably won't even, try to reach out. She's not even sure if she should reach out, whether or not she's going to be reassigned to that group or reassigned someplace else. She's in limbo. So she doesn't know what she should do. Just keep on concentrating on recovery.
Yeah.
And probably loses herself in nights with Mimi.
Yeah, which are
As much
not
as
like
possible.
very eventful for obvious reason.
Mhm.
You are currently put on the mandatory leave of absence for which means currently it is important to note for any sort of operation, your inventory would be extremely restricted to what a person would have.
Sure.
Because like they have no reason for them to provide you with anything right now because you should not be working.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, you're like essentially like desk bound at best, right?
She carries a 9 millimeter among all of the ordnance, but I believe if anything, maybe she has that left, but not the shoddy, no grenades, none
like,
of her usual toys. No.
Because America, it would not be surprising that you would have at least your pistol.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It is America after all. And I'm pretty sure like some laws were just as loose in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
not an
will say
expert
that
on...
we had established at one point that there is um the home base that most of the times if the Scooby Gang has to come over to her place and she's got tech, that's the one that's sanctioned by the agency. But she has her own like trailer, probably further out in the woods somewhere that that they wouldn't necessarily know about. If they know about it, sure, but she wouldn't advertise that she has a separate location to the agent.
No, with that in mind, I want you to remember that considering based on, I know it's been a bit since the last session, that your inventory management was brought up to you by management. Let's call it that way. So, as a person, I would advise you carefully on how you choose to approach certain aspect on how you're gonna get certain things from possible place that you misplace equipment. Um,
Oh yeah.
because they're
Yes.
most likely keeping an eye on things.
Correct. No,
That
she would have she more than likely it would have
yeah,
been all in the sanctioned home base.
yeah,
So if they wanted to come by and clean that out and
yeah,
confiscate and do it, oh sure. Yeah.
yeah.
That's all that's gone. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Perfect. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What about the rest of you, Chuckle Fox? How have you know been the dream troubling you and so on?
Bia's been throwing herself, finishing up the practice, and then winter break. And has honestly been doing a lot of community stuff. Like, there's always drives and dinners and things like that happening in the run up to Christmas. So Bia's been doing a lot of that and has been kind of keeping in touch and just, calling people every so often just to make sure everybody's okay, but not is very much having a normal life right now, which is
Yeah.
strange for the last few months.
As normal as can be, right?
Yeah, as much as can be when you're very worried about one friend who got the shit burned out of their back by another friend. It's a demon.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, she definitely has brought Lakeisha casseroles. At least one or two.
Now
They're
I need
incredible casseroles.
I need to know what kind of casserole.
We got
That's the important question that people will wonder about.
we definitely had a tuna casserole, maybe a green bean casserole, like just a portion of green bean casserole, because you don't need a whole green bean casserole when you're on your own. She's got a very special chicken and dumpling casserole, and that is her good shit.
Well, I'm glad that we're able to clear out the very important question of what kind of casserole that there is. Yeah. Like I know that if we did not like dive into that, some people would have been angry with us.
Mm-hmm. I'm Midwestern born and raised. I know my casseroles.
There you go.
It's me.
What?
I would have been angry. I needed to personally know.
I know you. Speaking of, what have your person been up to?
I think that Tiffany would have stayed with Cade until Cade was okay. Up to and including if she needed to call in to school the next day and or have Percy call her out, because now everybody knows Percy's my dad and he can do that. So I would have stayed with Cade for probably a day or so, make sure that they were up on their feet, okay, doing all right enough. And then I think that Tiffany is going to spend all of her free time at Cade's. She may go home to sleep. She may go, crash on the couch. She might sit there and snuggle Cade until Cade is done needing to get snuggled, because that's some traumatic shit. But she would have definitely been the one to, I'm going to take care of Cade. We're closer in age. Nobody wants the grown ass adults that are, have been super weird and stuff. She's still really angry with Lakeisha because Lakeisha's telling everyone that she's supposed to be watching Tiffany, but Tiffany has a contract with the agency that says otherwise, because technically she works for them and has for since she got brought on. She has a contract that she is not supposed to be followed. She is not supposed to be like a petri dish for them. She is there to help out and use her talents to help out. That's what she was recruited for. Now, which side is telling the truth? She doesn't know, but she knows that she has a contract that she was given when she was onboarded to work with this team.
Because you were technically all more or less onboarded for certain aspect, right? So.
Right. Hers was they found out what she could do, and at the end of her junior year, knowing she was about to turn 18, was like, hey, how would you like to do some good with the stuff that you can do, because we know you can do it, and in exchange this is what we can offer you, up to and including paying whatever your scholarships don't cover for whatever school you land at. With the talks of her potentially becoming an official employee post college. So she's already got stuff working with them, but she was told she would never be followed, that Lakeisha was just going to be a handler to get her assignments because she was somebody on the ground that knew a team, that I was familiar with the people involved, that kind of thing. So Tiffany doesn't know who's lying to her, but somebody is, and she's so over being lied to. So she's staying very, very far away. She checks on Percy whenever she can. She's avoiding her house. She doesn't know what's going on with her parents yet. Um, at this point, they're probably getting ready to leave because her parents don't spend winter break at home. They go skiing in Aspen with her dad's family, and Tiffany has very pointedly been told she's not going this year. Unless her parents want to pay for it, because her grandparents pay for the trip for the whole family. But now that she's 18, her grandparents on her dad's side, who obviously have always known, are like, nah, sorry. So Tiffany was planning on just staying home because she has no desire to go with them.
Yeah.
So she knows her family's getting ready to leave. She hasn't really talked to them. She still hasn't really seen her mom or dad, I'm assuming, because obviously we haven't wrapped that up either.
You have seen your mom here and there, but especially like not your dad.
Yeah. Has he come home at all? Like, has there been any sign of him coming home?
Not that you've noticed.
Okay. So yeah, she's sketched out that her dad is like MIA. Obviously he's got to be around somewhere, otherwise her papa would be talking about it, because they work together. So she's not really sure what's going on there, but she hasn't really tried to pry. She's seen her mom a couple of times. Her mom's being very standoffish.
Yeah.
But she's just like, you know what? I have a friend who's really not doing okay, so I'm going to go take care of them. And in the meantime, I'll either sleep here or I'll sleep at dad's house. And she very, very clearly, like, she slips up when she's talking to Percy, because it's been so long of the Deputy Banks, Mr. Banks, trying to get to call him Percy, then trying to remember to call him dad. Every time she talks to her mom, she calls him dad.
All right. Perfect.
But she's finished with school. School finished.
Yeah, school is already
the end
done
of
by
that. The 18th was her
December
last day
23rd. So.
of the semester. So she's done all of her midterms, all of her papers are in, and now all she's doing is waiting for college applications to come back, whether she got in or not.
Perfect.
See, also starting to think about prom dresses as a way to distract Cade.
There we go. And that's a segue to Cade. So, since that night, what has been going on with you and True Mine?
Cade's been a sad little guy. But yeah, basically, after Tiff like brought her to her house, she probably like called out for a few days of work. And just spent that time sitting and like staring at walls and kind of like pacing around and doing basic human stuff, but otherwise not much. Then figured I should probably human again, and decided to like get back to work. Picked up a couple shifts to kind of make up for the shifts she lost. Yeah, she hasn't really reached out to anyone. Whenever Tiff like visited, she was always like, come on in. Like she wasn't like resistant to it or anything, but yeah, otherwise she hasn't like really reached out to anyone else or tried to get in contact with anyone outside of that.
Wonderful. I mean, your boss is our favorite hippie, or does not care. Like most of the time, he does not remember what the schedule actually is. And like for extra shift, there's no problem. It's the busy time of the year where people just need to like get some last minute shift. And what else better than a vinyl that they may or may never listen to, because who really know like the musical taste of our nephews and niece, right? Nobody. Like I don't understand like musical taste of the next generation, so it's fine. You have not been in communication with pretty much anybody for a while. have you been in communication with them?
Not directly. It's kept an eye out to see if like she comes up to the shop or anything, because
Yeah.
her boss said that she came in that one time, but
Yeah.
would have been, kind of like looking out to see if she appears again.
Yeah. And have you spoke with him since?
I don't think she would start a conversation with him yet. If he tried to talk to her, that'd be different, but if
Mhm.
not, then she probably hasn't said anything.
Perfect. About you, Percy? What's been on your mind for the past 10 days? Or, according to my math, this many days.
This many. Very helpful. Thank you, Frank, for this many days.
This many.
This
A raccoon-sized
a
amount of days.
raccoon-sized amount of days. Yeah. How many raccoons? Okay, put it to me in language I understand. How many raccoons do I have left?
How many raccoons do you have left?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
boy, you probably have half raccoon, dude. I'm sorry.
Only
How
half.
many
What
raccoons
happened
for
to the other
Christmas?
half? Anyways, Percy actually has a few different things to do. He's gonna make the rounds. First, he cooks lunch for Bia the next day. I use quotation marks.
Is it a frozen meal that you fuck up?
I think he really tries to like make a like he tries to cook a turkey and he has no idea how much fucking effort and time that takes. He thinks you just cook the turkey and there you go. And then he goes out and he buys food and he brings it. But he makes that for Bia as an apology. He gets one of his bottles of whiskey and he just kind of sits down and writes a note. It says, "Trust me, it helps sometimes." And he'll wrap that up in just like a really simple twine, and he'll send that to the agency and just ask that it gets to Lakeisha at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Then he will go talk to Tiff at some point over the 10 days just to make sure that she's okay. And he'll ask her how Cade's been doing. I don't know if she has anything to say specifically to Percy through all that, but lastly, I think he's gonna try and see if he could track down Cade and talk to them.
I mean, they're not hard to track down.
Okay.
You know their address. You've been there.
He's been there.
You were like from a woman that like slightly creepy person outside of the window.
Just slightly. That was really creepy. He'll go knock on their door this time.
Yeah.
Just to see if they're home. He'll just knock and wait to see if Cade answers.
Is it one of the day that Kate you meant, or is either not home or?
If someone knocks, then she'll open the door, or at least I don't think she has any way to look out and see who it is first. So,
I mean, he probably have like one of those like real people on the door.
maybe, but like, so she's like in the record shop. So I don't know. Maybe they put like a door in there that had.
I mean, your boss does not trust the government, so you would probably have something.
That's such a good point. Yeah, there's probably a secret passageway somewhere.
But he'll knock nonetheless and just see if they answer.
Like peek out.
Hey, I brought lemonade. Could I come in?
She'll just like step away and open the door.
Thanks. He'll step inside and look around and go, looks a lot better when I'm not drunk off my ass. Hey, I just bought this at the store. I didn't know what else to get. How you doing?
Probably about what you think.
Well, what I think is pretty bad if I was in your position.
You'd be right.
Lakeisha asked me to tell you something, and if you don't want to hear it, I'm gonna respect that. But I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't come and try. she said that she's not scared of you. And I think she wanted to say more, but she did kind of pass out from the pain after that. So, yeah. And I wanted to say that I am also not scared of you. I do have a little bit of like a little bit of a something with the demon there. Like, we talked and we had an understanding, and I was just wondering if he said anything to you.
No.
Right. Well, good, because you should feel bad. It was a dick move on his part. Okay, well, I can leave. Or if you want somebody to like write down stuff with or just read nearby, I could stay here if you just need somebody. Or I can go. It's up to you.
You can stay. I'm off today, so.
All right. You want a beer?
Yeah.
Cool. I got some out in the car. I'll go get them. Yeah, sure. We can just chill, eat, drink. Yeah, sounds good. He'll just go, and he is about as awkward of company as he always is, but he refuses to leave the room like he usually does whenever Cade gives him the cold shoulder, and just kind of stays there with them for the rest of the day and then heads home.
Perfect. I mean, it is on brand for Percy, not gonna lie. Bia, I do believe you have like that one weird fun ability as the Chosen, right?
Oh shit.
That you more or less get a weird feeling about, shit that are gonna be weird during the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it may not be necessarily related to you directly, but just like general vibe of the surrounding area that you're in.
Beginning of each mystery, the immediate
Yeah.
future.
Um.
Am I rolling that
I'm
weird?
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Uh,
Throwing my dice.
it might be a bit abstract
Okay.
for narrative purpose.
Of course, of course. This is always my favorite roll because I have a negative. This is not my day for rolls. That's a 3.
Okay.
So
is there any
something
side
bad is
effect?
going to happen to you. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's just a general statement for things and your days in general. That may not even be related to what's gonna happen, like in regards to any mystery.
Shit.
You might just like hit your toes. But you do get hit with a series of very quick vision. Just like EO, like essentially like slideshow, like picture slideshow thing. You know what I mean? If somebody was essentially like putting this type of image in your brain, but at a very rapid succession, and they also did not do a very good job of at capturing the image. If that makes sense as a visual.
Really bad slide master presentation. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, what are some of the imagery that you see? You see a darkened room with just a bit of like a light bulb barely lighting up the room. You see what seems to be almost a makeshift operations table. A lot of stain. You get the visual embodiment of pain, metamorphosis, you get the feeling of fear. And the stench of sewage with an image of what could be the worst, most darkest Ninja Turtle film scenery without the actual turtle in it.
Okay. Ooh. Is this just like as she's just going about her day on this Thursday
Yeah,
before
like
Christmas? Love
you're about to like
this.
make yourself a little cup of coffee, of the shit coffee with like the shit coffee machine that never makes it right, but it's gonna do the trick. Um, and even before, as you like, essentially like counting like your spoons of coffee, you probably lose count completely because of that. So you probably have way too much coffee for the amount of water that you were expecting, or too little. You're not sure anymore. But yeah, that's what you get on the morning of December 23rd.
Okay. That's fun. I love having a -1 to weird and having one of my core mechanics be relying on that, but I did it to myself quite literally. So, um that's terrifying. I think she stops like absolutely just I think she even spills the coffee. Like there's just grounds all over her kitchen
Mm-hmm.
and just Jesus fuck what okay. Okay. And grabs her grocery pad off the fridge and she's writing it down so that she'll be able to tell the others about it later. Because the last time she had something like that happen, it turned out important. So she's writing it down and then she's going to start the coffee maker, sweep up, and call Percy.
Perfect. So, Bia, with that interesting vision and like the worst 4D cinema experience possible, and your coffee, and you call Percy, and I'm assuming you do a quick recap of like, hey.
Yep. And I'm also going to say now, Bia's an early riser. It's probably like 7 at the latest. So it's going to be very entertained Percy dealing with this.
Yep,
I don't know at that
Percy-
hour. Tiffany probably answers the phone.
Yeah, honestly. But at the moment that Tiff tells Percy, he's like up and awake as he can be. And he's just gonna look at Tiff and say, we'll lock up the house when you leave. I'm gonna go and I'll let you know what's going on. Okay, great.
I'm not leaving. I'm going back to the basement. And she goes back downstairs and goes back to studying.
Is it not a school? Okay. What day is it?
Dad,
I'll
I've
just
been out of
stumble
school
out.
for 4 days now. Christmas is in 2.
What? It just keeps going.
Alright.
He'll go drive over to Bia's.
Perfect. Other side weird question for all of you in general. Do any of you get newspaper and shit at their home?
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like Percy has to because of all of his
Yeah.
investigative shit, but he's so far out, he probably gets very delayed newspapers.
I mean, you probably just get it a few hours later on.
Yeah,
he gets it
I
like
used to deliver
lunchtime.
newspapers.
Yeah. It's at the very end of the route because he lives
Yeah.
so far out of town.
Any of you read the newspaper that morning?
Bia probably is reading it to try and distract for a little bit.
Okay.
Lakeisha probably read the newspaper that morning.
Which section are you looking in or not looking at all?
I think Bia does like a scan of the headlines just through the whole thing and then reads the comics and then goes back and actually properly reads everything. It's the golden age of comics. Let's go.
Yeah, true.
Gotta read that Prince Valiant. Well, not on a Thursday, but
How about you, Lakeisha? What section are you glancing over?
Oh, pretty much looking at headlines as well, but probably skips all the way to the the wanted section where people are selling pots and car pots and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and just looking over anyone that might be selling car pots to help her soup up her ride. So
Okay.
might also double check the obits just to see, make
Mhm.
sure if she's not if she's not communicating with the rest of the group, she's praying that everything is okay, and as long
Yeah.
as she doesn't see names in the obits that
Yeah.
correspond with anybody in the group, at
Yeah.
least she has that as cold comfort.
One of the first names that you do see there is the little fella that you found in the cave that was very much dead. That was a neighbor of Percy. Their family asked to hold a funeral for that.
Can I interject something to just be silly?
Yeah, go for it.
The
I like
minute
silly.
Percy leaves, Tiffany runs out to her car and starts unloading boxes from the trunk. She raided her parents' Christmas decorations, and she's going to start decorating the inside of the house.
I respect it. Could either Bia or Lakeisha, whichever, roll me just sharp, as just there might be things that you may be catching real quick.
My
Sure.
shop is a +1. How about you, Bia?
Same.
All right.
I mean, I rolled a 7,
It's not bad.
so I got a mix.
Rolled an 8.
All right, it's about the same. Like
Okay.
7, 8. In grand scheme of thing, it counts the same.
Mhm.
There's often like in most newspaper, like essentially like, oh, there are some possibly some missing people and shit like that. It probably is like it's probably between reading 2 Marmaduke that some of you catch that the fella that was a werewolf-like creature appear in the missing persons report. There seem to be a few more. And yeah, and there's mention of and there's a quick article, like it's very brief. It's not a headline because sad reality is not many people in this world or the real world do really give a fuck, even though they should. Homeless folks. There is a mention like, oh, like think about them, and it is also the time that sometime they will go missing. For various reasons, either cold or other things, right? Who the fuck knows? And there's a small interview, and there's a small picture. It's really hard to like really see like the details. But essentially taking like picture of the one of the local shelter. Who amongst you have seen Kate's date? What she looked like?
I got a physical description from Cade when they went through their whole thing, but I don't think he's actually seen it.
Wasn't
All right.
Lakeisha when Lakeisha came up, they were there. Did Lakeisha
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
you
That's
caught a
right.
glance of them.
A glance. Correct.
There's somebody that it's a bad picture. You saw them real quick. It was during daytime. That picture's shit. It's there might be somebody like in the background of that picture that might like loosely look like them.
Mm. Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave that point here to in the various plots point that may exist in greater universe. But yeah, Percy, you take a drive. It probably doesn't take too long, right? You go see Bia.
Yep. I'll pull up
Yeah.
to the door, run up, knock, enter anyways. And say, "Hey, Bia."
And she comes to the front room from the kitchen. She's got 2 mugs of coffee and hands one to him.
Thanks.
I have it might be strong or weak. I don't know. It hit while I was making the coffee. I lost track of how much I put in.
My taste buds are burned. I will. Whoa, that is strong. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's good. It's great.
You don't whatever. So yeah. Not good vision. I think we probably ought to God, I don't want to do it before Christmas.
Don't want to do what? Don't want to do what before Christmas?
I don't want to get everybody all worried and shit right before Christmas. Just
You
about
said vision. You had a
Yeah.
magical vision, and you're worried about Christmas.
Yeah, okay, all right. Listen.
Uh-huh.
It's not like I usually have a lot of people around to celebrate with. I'm a little excited, and you can see there's Christmas shit all over the apartment. Like it's peak, like 60s nostalgia Christmas everywhere.
Let me ask you a question. Is it really December 23rd?
Yes, it is December 23rd.
How does time do that? Not important. Okay.
It's got an unfortunate way of doing things.
Yeah, well, when you don't decorate for Christmas, you don't pay attention.
Ow. Goodness. And then other thing that I just saw, I was skimming paper, and she's got it folded open to the missing persons report and taps on the werewolf guy. So they've officially decided that he is missing.
Right. Which means they didn't find the body, so the agency did their job.
Yeah. I'm a little worried that if the rest of his friends are similar, that they may be starting to get desperate as well. As well as just gestures at the rest of the section and the article about homeless people also going missing. And just says, so that's concerning as well.
Yeah, I took a break from investigating for like a week and geez, okay. Good catch. Good catch. Great. Do you think this has something to do with your vision? Because I'm gonna be honest, like this is important and good catch. I wanna know if the vision is something that is immediately a problem.
Most of it I don't know. What I felt though at one point was changing, like what is that? Metamorphosis. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And given that they're transforming creatures, that's what makes me get very worried about that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, you're probably right. Okay. I know you don't want to worry everybody before Christmas. I guess that is noble. I have not celebrated Christmas in like 6 years, so it's not like I care. But if that's something people care about, let's get this done quickly. And hopefully you all can have a great Christmas.
You ain't got gifts for people, do you?
No. That's what you do for birthdays.
I
I'm
would ask if
pulling
you
your
were raised
chain.
in a barn.
I know people give gifts for Christmas, but again, I don't celebrate. I ain't had anybody to have with me for Christmas for years. I don't get gifts for people, and I don't expect them to get.
And now you got a daughter.
Oh shit!
Come on.
Damn it. Okay, no, you're right. We gotta get this mystery done because I gotta go shopping. Fuck. Okay, let's get everybody together. If we're gonna get this done before Christmas, we need everybody.
I got to deal with this mystery because I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Is a big mood. Like, yeah, fuck, that's the day job. I have shit to do. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna need everybody. We should tell
she
Kate.
she was better when I went over yesterday.
Yeah, I'm mostly just worried about Cade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we better.
I'll get Lakeisha.
All right.
You get Kate, and we'll both let them know
All
that
right.
we're all getting together.
Alrighty. Yeah, we should probably. I'll call Tiff and let her know that we're all gonna get over to yours.
Yeah, she knew something was going on, so she'll probably be ready.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go. Fucking, I don't remember. Page. I don't know if I'm gonna page. I'll figure out how to get a hold of Lakeisha. Just I'm a little frazzled. All right. This
Careful.
coffee is terrible. I'm sorry. This is really bad. I can't finish this.
Yeah, no. Now that I'm getting my sense of taste back, yeah, no, it's horrendous.
I am halfway through the mug and I can't do this. Sorry. Okay.
I appreciate the effort.
Yeah. Well, you can't waste coffee. All right. Let's go. They'll go gather everybody.
Yep.
Perfect.
I do want to do the call with Tiffany though. I think that would be very funny.
So are you
I'm-
calling Percy's house? Because that's where
Yes.
Tiffany is.
Yes. She knows that that's where Tiffany is, and that's why she's calling ahead to be like, "Hey, we're coming back over. You know, don't go anywhere."
Can you stall for like 30 minutes? Go get breakfast or something.
What are you?
Just please.
All right, fine.
Thanks, bye. Click. And she runs back to what she was doing.
Christ. And she sprints out the door. Percy!
What?
Go get donuts or something.
What?
I just realized you ain't got any kind of breakfast food at home. We should go get some donuts or something to bring.
Lakeisha always gets something. It's fine.
You're gonna make Lakeisha do that?
Why is that bad?
She's recovering from burns. You're gonna make her do extra things? Come on.
I would do it if I. All right.
That's
fine.
because you're a self-destructive numbskull. And she
I'm
says
not-
that with just the fondest grin.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
tell you that you're wrong, but I find
This
it
one's
offensive
no
when
one,
you're
right?
wrong. All right, fine. Let's go get donuts, I guess. God.
No, because I'm trying to remember visually in my brain where everybody like roughly lived in the great town of Fairwick. Some of you more or less like live more central to the actual town, right? Like I do believe, Katie, you live more like central to the actual town proper.
I can actually tell you.
I'm just
That
trying
I
to
know.
I'm just trying to like go to try to remember like which among you like probably like have like city water and not like just like a well.
Lakeisha's on a well at the trailer.
Yeah, so it probably will just be Katie on city water
And Bia.
and
And
Bia.
Percy. Percy lives right at the edge of town. Like he
Yeah,
lives
and depending
beyond
of where you
water,
are in
but-
town, it's different.
That's terrifying.
No, I mean it's nothing to be terrified about, for real though.
Right.
Kay, do you make like coffee or tea in the morning?
Cade drinks tea.
All right. It's hard to do when your water line is cut.
No.
Because there's it's possibly like work on the water line somewhere in your general neighborhood. But if you are somewhat prepared, you may have bottles of water that may help. But just thought I would let you know.
That's the case. Cade is very, very grumpy today. Not have tea.
So basically, Bia was barely able to get that horrendous coffee.
Different. The way water line is
Oh,
like
different. Okay.
different like they sometimes will like cut sections. That's one thing I don't miss living in Body City, but I still like I am on city water here, so. But yeah, that is a side note for who knows what, right?
Oh, if no water also means no toilets, Kate is already like, I'm going to Percy's house.
Cade's in a horrible mood. Yeah, Cade would if Cade got a call to come to Percy's, they'd probably be like.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, through the magic of cinema and montage, who's picking up who, who's going to see who again, and where are y'all as a group meeting?
I think the way Bia manages to stall long enough, because Percy just wants to grab the donuts and go. So the way she ends up stalling for the extra amount of time is dragging him into a shop to do a little bit of present shopping, which will play out later. But
Yeah.
that's how she manages to stall Percy enough.
He has never been more annoyed in his life, and the entire time he's like, magical visions, missing people, werewolves. Where are we shopping right
Your
now?
first Christmas with your daughter.
It's not fair to play that card. No, just
Play
Perfect. But I'm assuming as a whole, some people are going to go pick up some other people and so on, and you are as a group meeting at Percy's home.
I think that's become the de facto meeting place, is Percy's home.
Yeah, I mean it's convenient. There's space for it. You have a room full of yarn.
No worries about neighbors.
And we're literally out in the middle of nowhere.
There you go. All right, perfect. So a meeting there. Probably as a whole for the first time in like all of you at the same place, first time in 10 days. I'm sure that it goes without saying that the overall mood and feeling of the place is probably a bit tense here.
Yeah, especially because Percy walked
With the
into
weird underlying of like random Christmas decorations house. It has that weird like what the fuck happened to my home with that contrasting with like yeah, we have to deal with things. There's also other things that have to be dealt with. There's always a lot of things going on, right? And it's maybe too early to drink, so at least as a responsible adult.
5 o'clock
Says
somewhere.
you, Keeper. I don't know.
Look,
It's never
don't-
too early for some nog. You know what I'm saying?
I don't just don't have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
the entire house. It's got everything except the fucking tree. Because her mom is that type A type that has to get the new hotness for Christmas decorations every year, but then never gives away the old stuff. So she just went and raided stuff that was like 3 or 4 years old that her parents would never know was missing.
Yeah,
And she's just like throwing garlands up against the ceiling and a wreath on every door
but yeah.
and everything but a tree.
So you are in this winter wonderland type of living room now. Let's go with that. And as you step in, I'm assuming just like a singing Santa that like is on Santa or something. As you walk through the door, will start shouting at you.
It's there's one of those Nutcracker marching bands that play the little bells.
I hate those
Oh
things.
God.
She hates them too, though. She probably didn't turn it on. Or if it's on, it's because she didn't realize it.
But yeah, here you are as a whole with that ambiance. and the pre-existing tension between some of you. So yeah, take it away, folks.
Bia and Percy pull up, and Bia just goes, "That's what."
That's
And-
why what?
There's just a wreath on the door outside. There's no lights outside the house. Everything's inside.
Oh, okay.
There is
okay,
a
okay.
wreath on the door.
She sees the wreath, and she's like, "That's what."
What
She's your daughter. Come on.
does that mean? Oh, she did a little decorating. That's cute. That as they go inside, he's just gonna stop and look around and go, "Fire hazard, fire hazard, fire hazard." It's not even my house anymore at this point. All right, Tiff. Hey, we're back. We brought donut.
Do you not
Huh?
like it?
It's great.
I was gonna say, Bia's gonna elbow him so fucking hard.
It is so festive.
Well, we know we've never gotten to celebrate Christmas, and
I know.
Figured you. I didn't find any decorations. I thought I would spruce it up for you. It was a surprise.
Yeah,
It looks wonderful.
it looks really good. It looks really good, Tiff.
You
You're
really
right.
don't like it, and I can take it down if you don't like it.
No,
I
it's
know
not
you said you
that.
don't like people changing stuff. It was
No,
supposed to be-
not I. It's good.
Sorry.
No.
She just kind of goes and like defeatedly plops on the couch.
Well, we can talk about it later. I promise. There's other stuff going on, right? Where are the others? Are the other two coming? He's just kind of like shuffle into the kitchen, knowing he fucked up, but doesn't know what to say. So he's just gonna start laying out the donuts.
If Percy had come to get Lakeisha, then Lakeisha kind of hangs back a little bit while Percy and Bia go in the house first, but probably catches the tail end of that comment, and she actually takes a look around and says, "Nice, yeah, it just definitely needed a woman's touch in here. This is as nice as I've ever seen this. This is actually pretty great."
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, listen, great job on the decoration. And I'm sorry that I violated your privacy.
Yeah, well. Sorry doesn't fix it right now, unfortunately. Just don't do it
I know.
again.
I know. I hope that
Lakeisha,
when
you don't get it. I've never had a life that's my own. I've been lied to since I was born. I've been forced to do shit that no kid should have to go through since I was born because I wasn't perfect, because I wasn't my dad's. It's just one more person lying to me. And I get it and I appreciate the apology, but sorry doesn't fix it. Not doing it again will.
I understand. I hope that number one, that all due respect, that your family gets their head out of their ass, because I mean,
Yeah, well,
you've
my
got to
dad
be
hasn't come home in like 3 weeks now, so
3 weeks.
at least. And mama's not talking to me, so I'm sure they had a big fight because I found out.
That sucks. You know, I'm no stranger to moms and dads that just don't know how to friggin' communicate, believe it or not.
Oh, they know how to communicate just fine. They're just angry, and I don't know all the details, and mama's not talking to me either. So,
I gotcha. Well, I hope that when you get the job that I know you'll probably be running things, as smart as you are.
yeah, well, I got to get
I
involved
hope that,
first.
I mean, I heard about the applications and stuff. So yeah, I know that you have that capability. I just hope that one day you work for bosses that just don't expect you to lose part of your soul is all. But anyway, right now, Christmas. Who wants nog? Huh? All right. Makes her way over to the nog.
All right. So I'm assuming eventually everybody's gonna be here.
Cade rolls in last.
Mm-hmm. So, how is any exchange of information being done?
So I think once Bia got in, she made a pot of actually decent coffee. And she's just gonna, once everyone's in and has donuts and everything like that, she's gonna go, okay, I really hate that this happened 2 days before Christmas. I got a weird vision. And she pulls the newspaper out from her pocket and puts it down on the like table, coffee table, whatever that's in the middle of the whole group, and points to, she's circled the missing persons report and the article, and just says, and I'm afraid that considering the vision included feeling pain and metamorphosis and a whole hell of a lot of fear, I'm worried that means something's gonna happen soon.
Specifically, Cade, we worry that your friend and their group is both causing maybe some issues, but also maybe in a little bit of danger themselves. We're really not sure.
I haven't seen them. Any of them. So.
That's
It's understandable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
And so, as much as I would love to say, let's just have a nice Christmas and see if things happen, if we have the luxury of forewarning, I'm loath to waste it.
Do you look at the newspaper article, Cade?
After it's mentioned, probably, yeah.
You would have picked up on that background character on that picture, I assume. You haven't seen them like all that much, and it's been a while. But they look worse than when you met them.
It's not right.
What's not right?
They look. I don't know. Well, when you say they look worse, like, do they look like what do you mean?
Like, somebody that is probably not able to have the best roof over their head for a few days.
Mm.
They, I knew they're not from here, but I thought they had somewhere to stay. But they don't look like they're staying anywhere.
That's them.
Yeah, can confirm, but from a quick glance I got, that they were a little bit more put together from what I remember.
It sounds a lot like we need more information. We don't know who the enemy is. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what the problem is, and we don't know what Bia really saw in her vision. So information sounds like it's necessary, and as much as I hate to say it, it sounds like these friends of yours
We need
with
to
the
talk to
information.
Bia, do you go over it once again over the imagery that you've seen?
Yeah. yeah, she tells him the whole, like, as much detail. She's got her grocery pad.
Okay, can you roll me a sharp?
It's a 7.
The fact that you had no water in this morning come into your mind when it comes to Ninja Turtle sewage. The fact that there was no water in your home, you make a loose connection
Oh.
between
Um.
some of the imagery.
So there wasn't really any. I don't know if this is. I don't know. It's just making me think about it. But this morning
Please.
there wasn't any water in my place.
They didn't post any announcements about water line work that I saw. Shit.
Right, so no water, sewage. Maybe something's happening underneath.
Do you, before we jump to the worst, do you know if there's a reasonable place that we could try and find them? I mean, we could check, and she taps the photo of the shelter. We could check there, but oftentimes those kind of places, they'll kick people out during the day. So I don't know if that's going to be helpful right now. But anywhere else that we could try and find them before we go the herring off into the sewers.
Did they say where they were staying before? They were staying in their van, right?
Yeah, like you like when you had like that weird like discussion with them, like quick quote unquote they like mentioned that there was sometimes like mostly staying in the van, but sometimes possibly like dad like the friend down the woo is currently missing. Yeah, there was a chance that they were able to possibly stay there too on occasion, but
okay. Yeah. I don't know. We can look into the shelter and see if anything pops up. They stayed out of their van, so if they ever needed, your everyday essentials, they probably would have, popped in. So maybe somewhere in there saw them at least. Give us some clues.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of van it was?
Do I know what kind of van it was?
sure. What like van?
No, I
actually get
mean
a
like just in general.
description?
Like I don't need to know the specifics, but
Yeah,
like would Cade recognize the van enough to be like
yeah, I
this
feel
was like the
yeah.
make,
She
model,
would.
color?
Kay would probably know the type of van it was. Like
Okay. If I saw it again, I'd know it. Yeah.
Hey, Dad. Do you know anybody at the station that might be able to like that doesn't hate you? Because I know there's got to be people that actually think you're cool. Because at least I do. Like maybe can we call someone to see if anyone's seen that van and maybe check that first?
No one at the station hates me, but none of them really think that I'm. Yeah, sure. Let's try something. I'll go try and I'm sure that like there's a non-emergency or desk number that I know at the station that I could call. I don't know like if there's anybody specifically that maybe doesn't think Percy's absolutely batshit, but
yeah. I mean, you can easily call and somebody on the other side pick up and like an old dispatcher that you know been working there and they're probably going to retire like in the following year. You're surprised they're still working there. Picking up on your side, like a bit surprised that you called them, but
I'm like, hey, Debbie, sorry. I know it's been a while, and technically you're not supposed to talk to me. I understand that. There's a buddy of mine who I'm a little worried about. We went out drinking the other night, and I haven't really heard from him. And I know that he's been hanging out with this group of kids who are a little sketchy. And I just want to check up on him. If it's no bother, I just want to know if you guys have gotten any reports or anything about this van that these kids are staying in. I will give a general description of it based off what Kate has told me.
General description, like definitely like a plate number, or anything, darling. Like anything I can use.
Yeah. Hold on, I actually got it written down somewhere here. Hold on, Tish, what's the plate number? You've got it, right? Surely somebody's got it. Nothing, any identifying details about this vehicle.
It was red.
It,
It was-
simple red van.
Yeah, I'll just describe it as well as I can. Say sorry, we were drinking last night. It's not like I was.
Yeah, not
really,
surprised. But
Yeah.
so a red van brand, model, anything.
Ford Ecoline.
Ford Ecolite.
All right. I guess I can look if there's any APB on a red Ford Ecoline in Fairwick.
I would be so thankful.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. You say, hey,
Maybe stop drinking, Percy.
I will take that under consideration. Thank you.
You're not getting any younger. Your health.
Yeah, that is true. Thanks. You always did look out for my well-being. So, yeah, just whenever I don't know if you can get that information quickly for me or not.
Sure. I'm gonna see what I can do with what I have.
Great, thank you. You are a charmer as always.
Gosh, you're getting worse.
Self-improvement takes one day at a time. Okay, yeah, great. Do you just want to call me back, or do you want me to stay on the line?
I mean, I'm gonna call you back. Like you're like the line is busy right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how long it's gonna take me for that.
Cool.
Because
okay, that's fine.
You gave me jack shit here, Percy. Like, what's the next thing you gotta add? Add 4 wheels?
Probably.
For fuck's sake. All right, I'm gonna see what I can find. Your number did not change, obviously. You're still living that shithole. I'm gonna call you back.
Thanks. I feel like a foot shorter after that conversation. God, fuck. Yeah. Somebody at
Debbie
the
does not give a shit.
somebody from
Debbie
the
did
department.
Dallas in 1982. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's about the right time for that movie.
Yeah.
She's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah. One of my buddies at the department still has fond thoughts of me. They're gonna help us out. They'll get back to me.
Was that Debbie?
Yep.
Don't take it too personal. That woman puts raisins in her potato salad.
What?
I
You're kidding.
withdraw that Debbie gets cookies. We no longer stand Debbie.
Wow. Oh no.
We are in backstage chat like Debbie is
Oh
the
no,
best.
that's
No longer.
violation.
No,
Violation there.
Listen, I
Oh.
love Debbie, but
Ugh.
Bia is holding grudges.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Oh.
Panda now holds grudges.
That runs
Debbie
deep,
doesn't
man.
shit.
Yeah, that runs deep. I'm
raisins in
sorry.
that.
No. Violation.
That just sounds vile.
No,
It
she just went
is.
on a list that, of Lakeisha's that nobody knows about. Holy shit.
But
Whoa.
yeah,
Oh,
Don't invite
you,
him
you
for
got the
dinner, Liz.
world's worst APB put on a red van. Hopefully there's one in the area.
Yeah, we'll have to stick around the phone for a little bit if we want to get any actual info. I don't think she's gonna really jump on that too quickly.
I don't know if Mama's going on vacation. Like, we live kind of close to the record store. Should we call and see if the house has water?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would recommend it.
You know what? Yeah, no, I sure. I'll keep talking to women who make me feel terrible. I'll ring up the phone and wait.
Don't take no shit off of Mama. She ain't got room to talk.
Let me pull up an extra cup of nog for this.
Oh, Laura.
Oh, let's
The
go.
second Percy picks up the phone to call my house, Tiffany goes under the counter and gets the bottle of whiskey that hasn't been touched in weeks.
hmm
And she's just pouring some in everybody's coffee.
hmm
You don't get an answer. You get the answering machine. Chances are, you can estimate two things: either like they're not home, which we don't know, and one of the reasons they're probably not home is because they probably went to grandparents' place where they may have water there.
Great. Okay. She didn't answer. Thank God. So either there was a reason for them to leave, like you say, no water. Tiff, what'd you say about? You said that someone was missing.
Yeah, Daddy ain't been home in like 2 weeks. I don't know where he's staying. Mama doesn't seem super concerned about it, so I don't really know what's going on there. I think that he found out about stuff and he's just angry. I don't really know. I tried to call his job and they've just said he didn't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah, just I don't know, maybe keep that in the back of your mind.
I'd rather not.
Then I'll do it. Well, I don't know if they got water, but the point is we know at least a general area that doesn't, which is Cade's place. We know that there's a sewer going on, and well, we're waiting to hear about the car. Who knows how long that's gonna take? Anybody got any leads to pursue right now?
How about it, Keeper? Is there anything on the agency side?
Well, I think that would be a good time for Investigate a Mystery. You are currently technically on a leave of absence right now. So chances are they would not really communicate with you for any reason, except long. Oh, by the way, don't forget, you need to renew that paperwork for insurance purposes.
Oh yeah, yeah. True.
But I do believe it would be a good time to investigate a mystery, right?
Okay.
I mean, after all,
Alright.
that's part of the system.
Indeed. So, and that is shit. That is plus sharp, correct? So
Indeed.
that's only a 5. That is worse than
All right.
Boy,
worse
everybody's
than
rolling
fail.
like dog shit tonight.
It's
Yep.
the episode of terrible rolls.
Somebody else can try to
would like
have a go at it.
I would like to, and especially I
will.
would like to
you
see
would
if I can
allow
connect.
me to. We can
any
all
more
roll.
dots.
And anybody that have any
Look up-
weird ability that would
Ooh.
allow them to possibly find out shit.
You think my third eye thing would work that far? Because I'll try, but it's not
I
investigate a
think-
mystery.
I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
think.
I
I
think
think
Frank's poking at someone else there.
I mean, you can try.
would like bones to be red.
It looks
Just
like
look.
the bones would not like to be read.
You got a bone to pick there?
Literally rolled a 5.
What?
Oh no!
I don't know.
Oh,
why.
that's
If it
oh,
makes
the
you feel
psychic damage.
better, Kate,
Oh,
I
wow.
have a +3 to this roll, and I also got a 5. So
Fuck.
Is
Oh,
Okay, well, I
Bia's
guess
the
I'm
only
gonna
one
roll
who
and see. Can I say that to investigate a mystery, maybe because Percy never throws anything out, Tiffany grabs like a stack of papers from the last 2 weeks and starts rolling through them to do research to investigate, and we'll see
Yeah.
how well she does from that.
Bia rolled an 8.
Awesome. We're gonna keep it that on. Question for you, Cade. When you use weird magic or your thing and you fuck up like that, does bad thing happen to you? Or happen in general? I'm just trying to
If I
have
use magic,
yeah, but I don't think that is
not for investigate a mystery, I don't think.
Were you using investigate a mystery or were you using something else?
Oh, just investigate a mystery.
All
I
right.
was gonna see how that went, and then I was gonna try cast the bones.
All right. Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Perfect. Bia. It's not bad. 8. I mean, it is
It's a
better
hit.
than the current average.
Yep.
So, investigate a mystery.
Yep. So I get 1.
So a lot of the questions that are usually here are not like going to be easily applicable.
Mm-hmm.
But like, feel free to ask me like a specific question that may not be on the list. Even though it's not a 12 plus, because I don't expect any of you to roll 12 plus at this point tonight.
No, I think the dice are saying no.
Like,
The dice
not
are
to
rebelling.
not to shit on anybody, but you have already been like rolling like crap.
I think the question that I want to ask is actually just, where did it go?
Where did it go?
And referring to either the friends, ideally the friends, or if the monster is something separate.
Those are two separate things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you that.
Cool.
Or at least in this context, there are two separate things.
All right. I think I would prefer to know where the lost folk went.
There are pictures of like missing people here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
On occasion, but like often, like when it comes to people without a home, there's not always pictures. Roll me a weird.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's
Sure.
essentially just gonna be like a little extra thing to your slideshow, depending on how you go.
Yay! It was a 7.
Okay.
So that at least is a vague hint.
I'm
not making it worse.
There's a similar feeling to like the first room that you've seen in your vision. With people in it, without with the bare minimum on their person. No shoes, like as if they're kept somewhere. There is a coloration. There's a link. There you go. It's an easier word for my brain. There you go. Between that room and the image of the sewage, although not direct. Like it's not like two rooms connected. But there's a link between those two images of the slideshow. Yeah. And where did it go? If you're like asking for that in regards to a creature, the sewage would be a good place to start. Now you're not exactly sure what it may be, but
I think Bia was like in the middle of like taking a sip of coffee as she's looking through that and gets that whiff of sewage and just goes,
yep.
Whoa. Bia, you alright?
No one else is smelling sewage, right?
No.
Oh.
Shit.
I'm gonna kind of brush over to Bia's side and like hold her shoulder for a second and say, I don't really get the whole magical powers thing, but this feels like something that is immediate.
Yep, and she puts that coffee down, and just goes, yeah, so that room again, I saw people in it, and it smelled sewagey. Like people were being kept in the really dark room with barely a bulb, and it smelled sewagey. So unfortunately, I think that's where we're gonna have to start.
Right. Okay. Keeper.
Yes.
I have my library.
Yes, you do.
This could be a stretch. But would
Yes.
you allow me to roll or something to see if I could potentially find, probably not super up to date, but blueprints of some amount of the city?
Yeah, give it a shot. I mean, at this point, it's worth a shot.
Can I help him with that?
Yeah, you can roll to help out.
What are we rolling? Is this investigative mystery?
Sure, let's do it again.
Come on, dice, don't give me snake eyes again. Oh, that's not a snake eyes. Thank you.
Is it
How
two
about is
twos?
roll plus what, or is it just a straight roll?
Hmm?
So how about do I roll
Help
plus
out's
anything, or is it
plus cool.
That's cool.
plus cool? Okay.
It is 2 twos, which
6,
plus my
sorry.
3 makes a 7. So
Okay.
there you go.
I rolled a 6 because I
Alright.
suck.
All right. It is very out of date.
Okay.
But you get some early like, oh, while the tunnel was still in development blueprints type of deal.
Great. Okay.
Where they were like laying some pipes and.
Perfect. Good enough. I'm gonna grab that, lay it out, grab a map of the city, lay it out, call Kate over and say, "Where's your house on here exactly?"
It's the house.
Yeah, it's the general area where it is. Yeah.
I'll start laying them over each other, drawing out where the sewers are, and see if we can glean any information. Like, hey, does this show us where this might be? Yada yada.
Based on that, you would probably get like. There's been all sort of while they were like laying some sewage and things like that, they're all sort of like maintenance like rooms that all that are just no longer in use.
Got it.
Which it may be a correlation here, but
Is there anywhere that looks like could be a place we could enter the sewer without being super obvious about it?
I mean, there's a few manhole across the cities. It depends how much of a trek you want to go down there.
I just don't want to go down a manhole where a bunch of like on a public street where a bunch of people can be like,
No, I mean
"Hey!"
they're like everybody has been in Fairwick long enough would know that some back street, side street have
Okay.
some manhole because they need access actually like at every fucking street and like multiple places, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, we live on a reservoir, so I'm sure there's got to be like back ways in. It would just be a hell of a hike through the tunnels.
Yeah.
I'm
It
just
just depends on the effort that you want to make.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up at everybody and go, I don't really see much of an option here. We can wait for this APB that may or may not have any information, or we can just go take a look and be proactive about this. Obviously, the sewage is something because this is be a second vision.
All right. Well, since we're at a little bit of a deficit of my usual toys here, you got any pods, transistor radios, or something around here that you don't mind repurposing?
I mean,
I got some bits of stuff.
Yeah, I got
Cade,
a few things.
we've got the gadgets over at the workshop, and I'm sure the agency's probably confiscated a lot of that, huh? While you're on off duty.
All right.
I
So,
Oh,
mean,
but
Cade, the record shop backs up to an alley. There's got to be something back there that we can just like sneak
Yeah.
down, or I can drop my keys, and we have to jump down there and get them.
You would know there's manhole near the shop.
okay.
I just say
All
we
right.
go take a look. I mean, worst case scenario, we don't find anything while we're waiting for more information, right?
At the very least, I can try to piece together a rudimentary little EMF just to give us a heads up before anything spooky jumps out at us.
Yeah, I say we just go.
I'm down for just a good old fashioned investigation here.
All right.
All right, let's
Get in the car and
pack
go.
up and hit the road. Kate,
All right.
are you good to go?
Yeah.
Keish,
I'm
you
good.
up to it?
Yeah.
right.
Gotta stretch the old muscles again. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You would probably not be in top shape for a lot of physical things.
Mm-hmm.
That goes without saying, all right? Even like the idea of like possibly lifting something like a manhole, I would not recommend you even with your fancy arm because it still pull on all your
Of
body
course, and all the rest. But she'll be damned if she's like waiting,
Yeah.
in place. That's just not her thing.
Just take your current physical
Tough.
discomfort and consideration regarding possible actions.
Oh yeah.
And depending on what action you're gonna take, there might be some additional roll just
All
to
right.
see how well you fare.
Sure.
Cool. All right. So in one or two vehicle, I'm not sure how you arrange.
Probably 2 for
Um,
safety.
Probably cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You drive nearby the old record shop. There's a few customer in front, but you know where to park behind. And your boss does not care. Like you just assume, all right, it's Kate just coming back here and with friends apparently. So but he does not have a car. He walks everywhere because he will refuse to give the government more information about himself to get a car. So what would be his parking spot is an extra parking spot.
Yeah, there's
for
a parking lot behind the record shop, like off the alley, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, easy in the alley. There's like you could see like on the main street where some city worker are trying to assess like line issue. But yeah, it's easy for you to go a different location and hope that your old trusty map is still somewhat up to date in regards to where things connect.
I think when they get to the manhole, Bia's gonna look at everybody and just go, I've always wanted to do this. And she wants to try and pick up the cover.
Do you use any tools for that?
I think she's got like a crowbar or something, just because
Yeah.
there's no grip on a manhole cover. But
Yeah, it depends on if you looking at those circular one that just have a tiny hole.
Yeah, there's like a little hook you put in there and
Yep.
pull them up with.
Yeah.
I know this because my husband has
Lakeisha
to do them all the
will
time.
help, but we'll still be careful. You know.
Yeah.
She may not want it. Ow, that just looks painful.
That would be yeah. Yeah, with proper tools, it would be possible. So yeah, no problem. But yeah, obviously there's the immediate stench of what is beneath that comes to you. It's not.
Okay. All right.
One sec. And Bia goes back to her car. She grabs a scarf from all her winter stuff that stays in the car, all the warmth stuff, and just ties that around her face.
I just hope that none of you have white boots and white pants. Just saying.
Percy takes a sniff of it and just goes, and starts getting ready to climb down.
All right. Perfect.
Well, gross. We are getting really close to time. This might be a good place to.
Yeah. Just one more little bit because I really want as y'all go in there. Looking around, I'm assuming some of you are clever enough to have flashlights.
Yep.
Oh no! At this point, knowing where we were going, I think we would have brought enough for everybody.
You hear the traffic up above, and pay close attention to where you're going. See the occasional rat going by, and you're listening very carefully for any sound that may be out of the ordinary. The one sound that does get to you is this almost scattery, viscous-like sound that just seems to be approaching from one of the darker corner of the sewage. And as you look around, you look, pointed middle, lower, watch where you're going. And the bit of light just on the top part of where you're walking, almost holding on to pipes and wires that are using this tunnel. You see what you can only more or less describe as this homunculus looking being, and it is staring at you. And that's where we're gonna pick up next time and see what's going on here with that.
No. No.
I
don't
need
know.
more info
No.
than that. I need
hell?
more info than a homunculus looking thing.
Oh God! Ah.
No, thank you. I
Good
will
one,
pass on
keeper.
that.
Good one.
Absolutely
Oh my god,
terrifying.
no.
Yeah. Good old stitched together creature.
Merry Christmas.
Right?
Happy
Merry
holidays, y'all.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oh my god.
Every day is Halloween.
On today's episode of Frank Ruins Another Holiday,
Oh my god.
Among Us edition. Look, no holidays are safe with me.
Nope. First the alien ham.
Yeah.
Right.
This is literally, just so you know, the Christmas episode. This is the episode that comes out to patrons the week before Christmas and everybody else the week
Amazing.
after.
There you go.
Absolutely amazing.
It's like I
Amazing.
planned it.